We gonna go.
Here we go.
We gonna go.
Here we go now,
We
baby.
gonna go.
Here we go.
Right on.
Let me ask you why you do what you do. Where you been? Where you wanna go? Do you even know how you gonna get there? Well, come along with me, and together we'll see what I can learn from you, and you can learn from me. The sky's the limit, you'll see. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. Here we go.
On your mark. Ready.
Well, let me put it to you. What are you gonna do with your lot in life? You gonna buy the lies, or you gonna prove the strength that's inside of you? Yeah. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. Here we go.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the Primal Europe Friday Criterium on this May 12th, 2017. Riders have gotten out onto the course, it looks like, for 4 laps of hilly reverse out on Watopia. We are currently following 2 different feeds out there today, so we will be able to be bringing you some A and B racing category action right along with some C and D category racing action. So let's get right into it, as I do believe we have up at the front of the race right now the A racers just heading down through the sprint sections out on course, or the sprint section out on course after the S's. Right now we do have, it looks like, Robo coming from Team Poland up in the front in that Indiana kit with D Fuller out of the UK. Williams is there as well. For the KRT, I haven't seen Dafford Williams racing in a while, actually. I think he's been outside quite a bit now that the weather has been getting nicer. So good to see Dafford back in action. Looks like they have like this group containing Dafford, Kalen Hodges, as well as Termont, it looks like now, and Magnus. Who else is in here? Termont actually racing for Vision Cycling now. Interesting to see. K Fish is in there as well. These guys all have about 7 seconds over a chase group, now going out to 8 seconds, containing King Cadence Racing, with C Hasty. Bunting is in there as well. K Ruff, H Ty, and then M Sterling. About 25 seconds, actually, H Ty and Sterling here from the BRT. About 22-25 seconds back from that first chase group out there. These boys will be kind of taking it a little bit more easy probably right at this moment as they wait for the reverse Watopia climb, one of the harder climbs out on Zwift for sure. About a 4-minute or so climb at an all-out effort. We do have a little ways back then from this group. I'm going to see what we can find for the C and the D categories here, kind of see how things are playing out after the initial attacks through the S's. It looks pretty dang fast, actually, the first time through. So now in the B category, we do have in a chase along with the leaders of the C category right now. We do see S. Curry right along with Waters. It looks like it will be Dickinson and Andy Beveridge. Pal Stopvic is there. D. Winsper, actually, David Winsper, as well as M. Sterling, all making up a large chase group and a lot of TFC jerseys. I think actually there's only one rider amongst this group actually without a TFC jersey on. That is that M. Sterling at the back there. So going to have a hard time dealing with these boys, it looks like today as very, very outnumbered so far. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can bring up the chat. It looks like we are live over on Facebook now. Thanks a lot to Productions in the background there for getting us live over at the Facebook. So I do have chat over there. I do see chat over at Zwift Community Live on Twitch as well. I do see Roger saying, hello, how's it going, Rogers? Good to see you. As well as Big C Mac D, good to see you as well. Is there a schedule posted anywhere? I'd like to watch more often, but every time I go to find info, it's not that consistent. I appreciate the feedback there, PVG. We just put in a new internet line over at the headquarters here. We were having a lot of trouble having broadcasts go out consistently, so we actually had a new line run just yesterday. And so now we should be able to have a more consistent schedule. We were not posting a schedule simply because we did not want to make promises that our ISP could not fulfill. So now that we do have that new line hung in, it looks like we are very consistent now at this point. We should be just fine with posting a schedule, at least for what comes out of ZCL headquarters. So appreciate that, Mr. I believe Brett Boniface, for the feedback on getting a schedule going out there. It looks like Waters here now at the front, 4.4 watts per kilogram. The Box and Winsper, Creary now as well, and then Stockvik, Dickinson 2, 3.9 watts per kilogram. So the TFC riders trying to turn the screws a little bit at the front of the C and D category. Kapala here now, it looks like in a chase group, about 17 seconds back from the front of this C category. Warthon now making his way through the front on that Tron bike as well. Back to the front with the A category, though, we do not see, we are actually a helicopter view as it's raining out there. Definitely has a whole lot of fog going on up here, but as you can see, it will be Dafford Williams right along with Burton from the TFC, Hodges from the KRT, and Kalen also from the KRT team. So a lot of KRT boys actually showing up for the Friday Criterium today. Atwell making his way to the front there too, coming out of the UK. Looking over his shoulder, it is going to be 5 up now, 5 up in the lead group. And they have about a 2-second gap over Rick Barbera, also riding for KRT. They may want to slow things down just a little bit, knowing that their teammate is almost back on terms with the front of this group. Magnus is in here now from Team ODZ, trying to get back about 4 seconds back. Can he close this down? Shuttler there as well, about 6 seconds back. Having a solid ride, but maybe going to be in no man's land for a while here as D. Baker at 4.9 watts per kilogram trying to make the chase up. Atwell did get back on terms with the front of this race, it looks like. Going to be Williams, Kalen, Barbera, and Hodges. But this is, as you look here, a KRT train at the front really starting to speed things up. You can see it's completely strung out, 5.0 plus watts per kilogram at the front of the race now, as the KRT boys were trying to maybe cause a little bit more of a break and cause a team time trial off the front, but it looks like they were unable to do so as Burton hangs right in there, right along with Atwell. And it will be a 4-up KRT against Burton and Atwell for the front of the race. Magnus now 14 seconds back, it looks like, from this front group. 8.3 watts per kilogram coming from Burton. Maybe a couple of boys here just trying to hunt those KOMs. Let's go ahead and see 349, a 349 or so. Solid time over the top. Kalen here at 4.5. It looks like still Burton going over the top of the climb here. Solid effort still. And maybe not going to be holding up too much as we are seeing 4.6 watts per kilogram coming from him. I am seeing Roger saying, hi, Kalen, what's going on? And Frank Tank in here at Zwift Community Live. Cobbles are a bit noisy. I did turn down the broadcast as far as that goes, but I'll go ahead and turn them down even more for you guys. Sorry about that. The noises in Zwift definitely can get a little bit intense compared to the butterflies. I guess it's a little bit realistic when it comes to all of a sudden the amount of noise that can happen when you are heading over the cobbles. So lots of Team TFC Rogers is saying. Frank the Tank says big watts from Barbera. If we'd been riding Rogers, TFC would have been dominating a Cat 2. Big C MacD says. And looking through, I'm going to see if we got any comments over at the Facebook. Looks like it's pretty quiet over there. Again, if you would like to join in over at Twitch, that's where we're reading a whole lot of the comments, so you can head on over to the Twitch feed. I'll go ahead and link that right now in the comments over at the Facebook right now. You are able to find us over at that link that I just linked in the comments just now. All right, so it looks like one lap done in the A category. And it is a lead group now of, looks like 6 riders in the A's. In the C category, again, the TFC boys definitely leading things out at this point. They are amongst a few of the B boys as well. Let's go ahead and see what's happening as they cross over the top of the reverse Watopia climb. It will be Creary right along with Beverage and Stockvik still leading out this C category. They do have about a 23-second gap over Dickinson, who was with them before they hit the climb. So a solid team time trial happening here with one in the mix here, it looks like at the front, which would be D-Box coming out of the Netherlands. A little ways up then in the B category, it will be K Ruff, I believe. That is maybe leading out Robo actually from Team PL. Team Poland is actually leading things out for that B category, right along with Shuttler and then Termont. Barbera actually racing the B category. Is that correct? As I'm going to have to take a look here at the other feed and see if he actually has B in his name. I'm not seeing B in his name, and he's definitely having a solid ride here, but he is under 4.0 watts per kilogram, so maybe just a little bit slower of a race today with not a whole lot of the bigger hitters showing up. Robo from Team PL, though, will definitely need a little bit of an upgrade, I would think, if he holds on to 4.2 watts per kilogram right along with D Fuller. But a lot of times being the first lap, they do go pretty dang fast for that first lap out on course here. So now looking, we do see it will be Atwell, Hodges, Barbera, Burton, right along with Kalen. 25 seconds up from Magnus. Magnus did get caught, it looks like, by Robo and Baker Shuttler as well. And it looks like Yvonne Wezenbeek here out of the Netherlands. So there's a solid chase group that has formed here of about, it looks like, 5 riders now. I believe there's 5 riders here, but I believe one of them is not a part of the race. Let me just double check here. Actually, no, D Baker is a part of the race, excuse me. So it looks like solid chase group formed here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 riders hammering away, and they may be able to catch those front runners if they get organized here. 4.6 watts per kilogram at the front. It looks like Magnus now fading just a little bit. Baker coming by and taking a pole here. We do see Robo Team PL now hanging in the wheels. Now Shuttler just trying to hang on 169 beats per minute. Van Wezenbeek here now trying to get back onto the wheel of Shuttler. Going out by 4 seconds. Now Team Poland now turning the screws and snapping the elastic a little bit here. It's 32 seconds out. He can see that the time gap might be coming down a little bit and maybe be able to bridge or at least drop a few riders off. But nothing's coming of it just yet. As at the front of this race, we have Hodges here now, not waiting up one bit. And it looks like KRT are already starting to play the team tactics game that they can play today as they're forcing Burton to make the chases here. Williams now coming around, it looks like, as they do see that Atwell is suffering on the back here, 175 beats per minute, trying to get back on terms with Rick Barbera's wheel here. Burton now at the front as he has caught the KRT boys and now slows everything right on down. Will give the ability for Barbera and Atwell probably to get back with the group here. As they're about to head through the sprint section, they'll head underneath the sprint banner. Let's see, we got a 12.4 the last time through. It is being held down by Atwell, actually. And we'll see if there's a better time through the sprint, as you can see up above my head there, for those results. So let's go ahead and see what the current top 10 are then. within the A category. Burton here coming from the team TFC. Atwell, Hodges, Duffin Williams, T. Kalen, Magnus is there as well, right along with Baker, E. Van Wazenbeek, D. King is there, and H. Ty. That is your top 10 currently, all over 4 watts per kilogram in the A category. As the front runners go through the sprint banner out on course today. We are seeing Kalen just raced in the PRS Strong Ride 2. Good to hear that. Did you race in the PRS race? PVG? Be interesting to know. And Roger's saying, yeah, he's a 24-hour specialist like a few of the other Zwift guys. Yeah, Kalen is a solid MTB rider. That is for sure. And Pedal Power Jersey, good to see you as well, hanging out in the broadcast today. And I'm glad that you're tuning in while cooking for the family. Always good to see you hanging out in the casts. So about 45 seconds back now is that chase group, and all containing somewhere in there some of the top 10 riders. Let's go ahead and move back and see what's happening at the front of the B and C category battle right now. I can bring in, let's go ahead, and they are just leaving the S's, you can see here with Waters and Beverage. It will be Barbera, though, it looks like, for the B category, still leading things out, and he is a part of that front group about to head into the reverse Watopia climb. But these boys are just leaving the S's as a part of the C and B category, excuse me. I'm going to see if I can bring in for you the current results for the C's. I'm going to see something here really quickly, actually. We can go ahead and bring this in. I believe it'll give me the same thing as we are seeing right above my head. And yeah, currently right now for the C category, we do have Winsper, Beveridge, Stoutfix, Sterling, Dickinson, Tisdale, right along with B. Kapala and A. Shields, Warthon, and then Rugerin. Millward, Payne, as well as off the Jack of all trades is in there as well. Tam Burns, and then Mukalula there as well. That is your top 15 currently in the race for that C category. So it looks like going back to the front of the race, though, with the A's, we do see that they are about to head into the reverse Watopia climb for the second time. They are doing this climb four times today for the reverse Watopia climb. So it's going to be a very difficult day out here for the racers, as the reverse Watopia is essentially a full-on VO2 3 to 4 minute, well, you know, I say 3, I don't think anyone's doing a 3-minute reverse Watopia, but 3 to 5 minutes are a range that is all out VO2 max, usually, especially while racing. Those are essentially, you turn on the NO2 burners and you go and you burn all of the energy in the legs during those efforts. So these are definitely the crucial moments out on course every time that they hit this climb. Essentially, they're just waiting for this climb to see if they can break anybody off the back and get away from any group that is together. It is, again, the KRT boys at the front here. We do have Kalen now making his way to the front, 6.8 watts per kilogram. Daffod Williams goes in immediately. Now, this is no joke of an effort here. Somebody goes into 10 watts per kilogram at the bottom of a climb that's about to hit into that 8% gradient, and you know that it is a serious attack here. Kalen follows right on with it. It doesn't matter if he's chasing down his teammate, because there is going to be a serious drafting advantage on the climb. Burton, seeing the attack, goes into 7 watts per kilogram, a little bit more of a consistent effort rather than into the orange numbers. We'll see if he can hold on to that effort and close the gap now. We do have Hodges just sitting on that wheel, not going to be taking a pull in order to bring back his teammates. Barbera there as well, just trying to get back on terms, as Atwell has fallen 14 seconds back. Now the question is, can he hold off Magnus with Robo? D. Baker, oh, there's a large chase group, actually, what it looks to be about 5 or 6 riders here chasing Atwell down. It's going to be a tough day in the saddle here to hold those boys off and hang on to that top 6 position out on course today. It looks like Williams and Kalen here still holding on to the gap, but Burton putting out 5.6 watts per kilometer, 185 beats per minute, almost back on terms, and chases it right on down. But now at this point, it's going to be TFC versus KRT. 1, 2, 3, 4v1 out there today, with Kalen now countering immediately into some sort of a 7 watts per kilogram. That was just to get onto Burton's wheel and allow the rest of his teammates to grab a wheel. They might slow things down for Rick, but I'm not sure if that will pay any dividends. It looks like Rick is falling backwards at this point. It might be TT time for Rick to try and hold off Atwell along with Robo. Robo not closing the gap now to Atwell. Atwell might be in this solo TT mode for the rest of the day and be able to hold this off for 6th place out there for the rest of the day today. Now looking back a little ways, it will be, though, this battle between Baker and Robo, as well as Timo DZ here with Magnus and Shuttler. Able to drop off Van Wezenbeek here out of the Netherlands, trying to get back on terms. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. 3 seconds, 4.0, 5.2 watts per kilogram, actually, it looks like. 169 beats per minute. Up in that 22 miles per hour. Shuttler here, 23. He may be able to close it down. There's the gap. They are right there. 3 seconds is all it is. As they go headed downhill, though, 27, 28 miles per hour. These boys are up into 30, 31. Will he be able to do the same kind of speed? It continues to go out, as you can see at the front. Baker now really turning the screws for Mr. Evan here. Ivan, who doesn't seem to be able to quite close down that 4-second gap. Here's a time to do it. 4.1% gradient uphill. But now Robo again at the front, turning the pedals just a little bit stronger than we're able to see from Ivan. So I'm not sure Ivan's going to be able to make this happen. Hodges now at the front here, 5.4 watts per kilogram. Kalen and him have gone again. Burton now trying to follow, 183 beats per minute, 6.2 watts per kilogram. Almost up and over the top here. Williams is there now, kicking again, 12 watts per kilogram. Actually going to come over the top with a whole lot of speed as they go underneath the Lexus KOM banner. Kalen almost back with his teammate. These two might get away now, as Burton is at 3.8, just sitting on the Hodges wheel. But I'm not sure Hodges is going to close that gap down, as Williams went over the top there, 32 miles per hour with a huge amount of, a huge sprint actually, carrying a lot of speed. Kalen got right onto that wheel, and this 1 second is actually a danger to Burton if he doesn't close this now. We are seeing 42, 40, 41, 40. He is just barely, I believe, going to be able to close this down. It is still 10 meters, 9 meters, 8 meters. Every one of those meters matter, though, at these high-speed downhill chases. He does get right back onto a wheel and now does have a draft. Kalen did come around, but a little bit too late, it looks like, as the TFC rider, M. Burton, did get right back onto that wheel. Solid effort there all around from the KRT boys, but shut down by Mr. Burton here from that TFC team. Back to the front of the B and C racers today. As we are seeing here, it will be Waters along with Creary, who have caused a little bit of mayhem amongst this group of TFC riders. Actually, looks like D-Box actually maybe the one who instigated it, is he's at the front here out of the Netherlands with what looks to be Waters and Creary and Winsper, all able to make this chase, but Beveridge looks to have been dropped off from that group. Benjamin here, just about 21 seconds up, and this is a solid chase group that may be able to bring that back here. Beveridge now 24 seconds back, though, from that group. Fell off the second time over the top of the reverse Watopia. And Mike Reese here right along with Keith D, as well as Catherine D. Actually, good to see them hanging out in the race today. Riding for watts per kilogram. That's interesting. Is this a newer team? As I am seeing here, a lot of orange. Using a very specific kit here. As I look over from the top, as well as, let's go ahead and hit 3 and 0, using the orange Ride On jersey here, and putting W/KG in the name. I have a feeling that the Catherine D, Keith D duo here has maybe started their own team, or have a new team that has been established in the world of Zwift, as that is a very slick looking kit that they have developed through the game here. Beveridge now 1 second up from the D's, and we'll see if they can get back on terms. Somehow, we are suddenly back at the suddenly we are back at the pier here with Lindsay's avatar. So we're gonna go right back to the front of the race and see if we can get Lindsay's avatar out of the well, I don't know if we're getting the avatar out of there, but we'll see if we can get our other feed going. If we cannot, we'll just go ahead and actually Chris Siggy Moore, the ZZRC ride will get us out of there. We will no longer be a part of the event, but as soon as ZZRC starts, we should be able to get back with our second feed in just a moment here. So Burton here, 3.6 watts per kilogram, along with Hodges and Kalen, it looks like, and then Williams. This is that front group. Barbera did fall off. Atwell trying to chase down Barbera now. It's about 18-second gap. They've got 2 laps to go now for the reverse Watopia course, but they are definitely going to need to be thinking about this group containing Robo, D. Baker, Magnus, and Shuttler. They've been working very well together, right around 4.0 watts per kilogram or more for the duration of this race, actually. If we bring in the results here up above us, we can see Williams and Kalen now at the front, 7.8 watts per kilogram coming from Kalen, but Atwell, 4.2 watts per kilogram. Burton, Hodges, looks like, as well as Williams. I'm not sure that these are quite correct, as Atwell is definitely not at the front of the race right now. About 8 seconds up from Team ODZ and Robo, though, as you can see here, and Shuttler. So he is being chased down by this well-oiled machine, it looks like here, that is this chase group, Robo, Magnus, Baker, and Shuttler. Williams now just a little ways up, it looks like, with Kalen and Hodges. Not going to be caught by Barbera or Atwell. But Burton, solid ride from Burton here. 6.4 watts per kilogram now, maybe trying to put a little bit of hurt into the KRT boys. Williams following very closely, actually now attacking with 9.4 watts per kilogram up and over the top of this final climb through the Essies as they're about to start their third time through the sprint section out on course. Roger's saying Marcus Neal, I believe. I'm not sure what the comment there was, but thanks for the comment there, Rogers. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with the Marcus Neal comment. If you want to let me know, please do. Now it looks like, though, Barbera here, 25 seconds, still able to hold off Atwell. This is quite the effort, actually, here from Rick Barbera. 167 beats per minute in that solid all-day TT effort coming from Barbera. Atwell, 3.7 now, trying to hold off Baker through this Essies section. It's been a very difficult battle here between this group and Atwell. As Atwell at this 4.2, 4.3 all day long, 1 second by 1 second. These boys are just like, come on now, this is the final time out of the Essies. Let's just make this happen. As we've got them within our sights, close it down and add one more to this pack and one more place that we might be able to take out on course today. Barbera's really going to have his work cut out for him as they add more strength to this group out there today. And so Marcus Neal, I believe, watts per kilogram. So I'm not sure. Rogers is making a comment there. Excuse me. Rogers says Marcus Neal, I believe, and then watts per kilogram. I understand. So you're saying that watts per kilogram is run by Marcus Neal. I'm assuming that is what you are getting at there. So we are seeing in the other feed for the front of the C category. Well, not the front of the C category, but we can, excuse me, at least we can bring in Stockvik, Kapala, and Tisdale here as a part of the chase group, I believe, in this group here. Stockvik, it looks like, with a solid effort, about 11 seconds back from Kapala with Dickinson, sitting in what looks to be just outside the top 10 or so. Dickinson, it looks like here, also just a little ways out of the, oh, excuse me, this is for the B category. We can bring in the C category results here really quickly. But we're a little bit off on, we'll have to look at the front A's here, but we'll be able to see what's going on with the C category here. It is going to be Beveridge, Shields, Tisdale, Dickinson, Winsberg, Kapala, Stockvik, Sterling, Rogerson, and Warthon, actually, all in that C category right now. As we're looking at the front of the chase group for the A's, though, as Hodges and the others are resting up here, about to head into the reverse Watopia climb for their third time up and over the top here. Hodges here now 4.8 watts per kilogram, looking maybe to attack or at least keep the pace really high. Actually, no, there was an attack, excuse me. Burton has been broken, it looks like, as Williams, Kalen, and Hodges continued to attack. And now it's going to be up to Burton. Over the top of this reverse Watopia climb, will he be able to close it down to any of these boys? Hodges, Kalen, and Williams, all fairly evenly matched A category riders. It's going to be a very difficult day here, I think, for Burton to bring this back, as those three definitely have a lot of firepower and can really throw down over the climbs. At the front, then, it looks like it will be solid 5.3, 5.6 watts per kilogram. It doesn't look so far like there's going to be any kind of a serious attack. They're going to have to, though, still act like they're trying to have the fastest climb that they possibly can, because Burton could throw down a solid 8 watts per kilogram right here and close down 10 seconds pretty quickly if they do not, depending on what Burton's got left in the tank. Though he is putting out 5 watts per kilogram all the way into this climb at 176, just starting the climb. Definitely going to be a difficult day here to try and bring any more wattage into this besides 5.0 or more. Williams now and the other boys are, looks like, a little bit more rested up, 6.8, 7.0 watts per kilogram, as Burton here continues to fall backwards. And it looks like this will just go out and be a team KRT team time trial of 3 at the front, 5.4. Kalen here, 5.7. Hodges, 4.6. And it looks like Burton now is going to have to start thinking about Barbera and Atwell making the chase. Barbera actually had a solid almost 35, 40 seconds at one point. That's being brought back down to 14 seconds. And now this race is getting super interesting in the last lap and a half. This is the third time over the reverse Watopia, and only a 13-second gap between some riders who might have been a little bit more patient. Robo, Magnus, Atwell, and Baker. Shuttler there as well. And having this patience here and not throwing down too many matches, not burning too many matches early on, might be paying off for these riders to get within the top 10 or even a win out there for the B category today. Currently in the B category, let's go ahead and take a look at the preliminary results. As we can see here, they're not the provisional results for how things stand currently right now. Rick Barbera with Robo trying to chase him down. So this is a battle for the top spot in the B category that we are watching play out there, with Shuttler, Fuller, then Bunting, Hasty, K-Ruff, Termont, along with Keith D and D Box there as well. And that's a solid chase group that we have been watching, actually, for Creary and Catherine and the rest there. We can actually bring them right on in, as we are seeing Creary here in the top 10 or 15, it looks like still. Catherine and Keith then also in that top 15 spots now, as you can see. And moving forward, this is going to be Keith and Winsper, Waters and Creary making their way into the reverse Watopia as well, trying to chase down a few extra spots in the front of this B category. But back at the front of the A group, though, this is the battle I was talking about for the first place in the B category. Rick Barbera, 8 seconds up, holding on to first place right now in the B category. But Atwell with Robo and Baker here wanting to bring that back right now. And then there will be Hodges and Kalen and Williams, of course, off the front, 4.5 watts per kilogram for the duration of the race so far in that A category. So a solid 140 is the gap to them as they make their way over the top of this climb, working well together. 4.4 watts per kilogram or so. Burton now a full 34 seconds back, as Barbera here 106. I think Burton's got plenty of space at this point, as long as he doesn't hold up and just kind of puts his nose to the grindstone and has a solid solo TT effort. He most likely will not be caught by any of these riders. Barbera now within 10 seconds, though, of these chasers. It was 15 as they were heading into the reverse Watopia climb. Baker now making a solid effort at 4.5 watts per kilogram. Atwell now wanting to close this down immediately. Goes to the front with 5 watts per kilogram. Magnus does so as well. 5 seconds up to Barbera, who's been off the front of this group for a long time. Fell off from that front group of KRT boys. And now trying to solo TT away from Atwell. Atwell kicks it up over the top of this little incline. Now goes into a decline. What kind of speed can they carry in to catch Barbera? Barbera now trying to hold on. He may be able to do so. He's got to keep the pace high and consistent here. Over 4 watts per kilogram, I would think, but at 169 beats per minute, I'm not sure that that's going to happen. And will he get to the point where mentally he says, that's enough, enough is enough, I just need to ride with the group and try and play smart? Or is he going to continue to try and hold these boys off and think that maybe some of them are suffering just enough that they will be dropped off from this effort from the other riders to try and catch Rick here? We do see Robo here, no heart rate, so unsure where things are at. Atwell 178, Magnus 169, Barbera also sitting at 169 beats per minute. We are seeing that a prediction coming from Rogers saying Shuttler to win. Be interesting to see 3.3 watts per kilogram. Will he be able to pull this off in this B category? As this is definitely the battle here that we are seeing play out in front of us for the B category win. We do see Robo making his way to the front. Rick Barbera waiting for this moment, it looks like, not trying to be caught, as he is going to be caught right before they come up over the top of the KOM. Underneath that Lexus banner. 5 watts per kilogram real quickly here. I think that's just to make sure he doesn't get dropped off as they come by him. Tries to grab a wheel, and now we will have this group of 6 riders as the leaders in the B category today. Up at the front of the A category, then, we do have Hodges, Williams, Kalen, it looks like, still, with Burton 59 seconds back from them. We can take a look at how things are playing out in the D category here really quickly. As we are seeing, it looks like Jay Offord and Kate Fish. Not a lot of D category riders that have been jumping into the race so far. With 1 lap to go, this is how things currently stand. The C category here, as we can see, Winsper with Beveridge, Tisdale, and Dickinson. Winsper, it looks like, off the front with a little bit of a gap of almost 30 seconds or so. We'll have to take a look at the C category boys as they are making their way around the course here in just a moment to see how that is going to play out, actually, with the battle there between Winsper and Beveridge in the B category results as they head into the final lap. We do see then at the front it will be Barbera, just caught by Robo, Shuttler, Fuller. Then no Fuller in there, so it will be those 3 at the front, Robo, Barbera, and Shuttler. Quite a ways back it will be Fuller, who seems to be kind of off the front, though, of a group containing Bunting, K-Ruff, and Hasty. So we'll try and make sure to catch that as they make their way around the reverse Watopia today. One of our feeds not being too nice to us at this point, so we'll try and catch them as they all make their way around. In the A category, then, let's go right on into this battle here that's going to start playing out between the KRT boys. As we do see Hodges here with Kalen and Williams. They're heading into the reverse Essies. Final lap out here. And will they be able to hold on to this 48 seconds? I think that is for sure. The question is, will they start battling each other? Or will it be a team time trial holding hands all the way to the line? Williams getting a little bit of a gap over KRT. Kalen there. Hodges then as well sitting in. It doesn't look like any kind of serious attacks just yet. Burton here, 4.6 watts per kilogram, holding off the Team ODZ boys. And so no battles really here to be watching at the front of the AB race as Magnus. I think this is going to be the main battles to watch, as not a lot of team members that are going to be working together in this group. Shuttler here at the back. Prediction there coming from Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers Neighborhood hanging out in the Twitch channel saying he thinks Shuttler maybe to win, being a TFC boy. Solid, definitely a solid prediction there. I would think, coming from Rogers. So looking here now, let's go ahead and see if we can get a maybe a straw poll. Let me know what you think is going to happen for the results today as they make their way to the finish line. Let's see if we can create a straw poll and see what kind of predictions that you guys have for. Well, maybe we'll just let you guys say it in the chat here. What do you think your predictions are? Let me know. Atwell, Magnus, Barbera, and Robo in this group. Between the front KRT boys, it's going to be Kalen, Hodges, and Williams. Who do you think is going to take it between them? Are they going to battle it out? Let me know your thoughts. Will they just come across the line holding hands, or is there definitely enough team tactics and we're just going to be every man for himself to the finish line? Baker here with Barbera, though. Atwell, Magnus, Shuttler, and Robo. Those are the group here that we're really paying attention, as we know there are no team tactics amongst these riders. Who do you think is going to take it amongst these riders right here? Shuttler, is Rogers saying. And Ants March is saying Barbera for the win in this group. So cheering on for the KRT. Roger's saying Shuttler as a TFC member. That would make a lot of sense there. So now Robo here from Team PL, right along with Atwell. And then it will be Baker as well. No heart rate monitors on a few of these riders, so unsure where the effort's at. I'm going to go with maybe... Let's see where Magnus is at here. 164 beats per minute. I think they're all suffering pretty good at this point. Atwell seems to have a little bit of kick. Barbera as well. If I'm being honest with myself, I mean, Barbera spent a lot of time off the front, but that makes him a very strong rider. And if he's able to get enough rest here before the finish, and these other riders haven't been faking anything to the end, I have a feeling maybe Rick Barbera might have this reverse Watopia climb for the win. But we'll have to wait and see who saves up enough energy and what kind of attacks are thrown down prior to that and then going into the climb. Looking here, we do see Burton here still in no man's land. 1 minute difference between the front and the chase. So all alone to the finish line at 173 beats per minute with a solid effort here, getting a killer threshold to the line. Hodges is actually in the chat right now saying that he's had no fan for the last 5 minutes and he's going to pass out. Williams says that Hodges is going to win it between him, Kalen, and Hodges. We'll have to see, as they are all in the chat talking actually about what's going to be happening. Barbera was off the front but below threshold, 90 plus kgs of might, Frank the Tank is saying. So perhaps it will be Rick Barbera. Your cake fall off into the fans, Mr. Ants March is saying. A-Cap Podium having a nice chat, Rogers is saying. Yep, they're just kind of hanging out. If sprint, Shuttler, no question. Rogers is saying, if it comes down to a sprint. It would be very difficult, though, I think, with the reverse Watopia 4 minutes all out to come down to a sprint. We'll see if anybody can break things off there. But if Shuttler's got a solid sprint, we'll have to see if that does play out the way that Rogers is predicting. Looking back just a little ways here, we do see it is going to be Burton still 47 seconds back. 47 seconds now. It's come down a little bit. Is Burton fading? He fades too much, and the attacks come from this chase group. It's going to be a very difficult day for Burton to hold these boys off if he does not keep this pace going. It's coming down second by second. It is very easy to lose a full minute to a minute and a half on one lap out on Watopia. Actually, you've got to have a solid effort all the way around. This boy has been alone for quite some time, actually. Burton here without a pack to work with, needing to do everything he can to put in the effort into these pedals right now. We do have Mukalula here coming from the C category out of Australia, just holding on to the wheel of Mr. Burton as they come on through as a lap rider. Almost back on terms with that wheel, though, in that C category. We'll go ahead and give him a ride on as he looks to complete the next lap out on course. Burton now 58 seconds. Looks like he will be able to do this. We'll see, though. I could imagine a crazy fast attack over the top, but 4.5 minute climb, maybe high 4 minute climb or so, maybe coming from Burton, should be able to even hold off Barbera, Shuttler, Magnus, and Atwell. We'll see. If they throw down though an all-out VO2 max effort, we could see a sub 4. And that would put him within striking range if he does a 4.5 minute or so, Burton, over the top here. We'll see what kind of effort that he does have. We do see it will be Hodges and Kalen all making their way over the reverse climb now into that 8% gradient. No serious attacks just yet. 7.8 watts per kilogram. Kalen now, no love lost between himself and the other KRT boys. Gets a little bit of a gap. There is no draft now. Maybe watching the broadcast and knowing that Kalen Hodges has no fan on at this point, trying to put a little bit of hurt into the legs of his teammates now. Hodges now gets right back onto Kalen's wheel as Williams is there right along with him. Looks like it's still going to be a battle between the KRT boys to the end. Looking here now, we do have Burton now 41 seconds back, just 40 seconds, closed down a solid 10 seconds so far to the front of this race. But if they just sit there and look at each other and wait for the sprint at this point, Burton will continue to go away. 6.3 watts per kilogram now coming from Burton, as these boys have 4.3. I'm not sure that that's going to be closed down, as Burton maybe has a little extra juice in the tank. 181 beats per minute for that TFC rider, sitting in 4th place right now. 32 seconds is what the difference is, but these boys are definitely not putting out a 6 watts per kilogram that we're seeing here from Burton, as they sit and hold hands just a little bit, looking at each other, waiting for who's going to be going first over the climb here for the win in that B category. Williams here, 5.0 watts per kilogram at the front. Hodges now making a turn here and has 4 meters over Kalen. Now 5 meters over Kalen, 6 meters. Hodges going away now. Mr. No Fan now making a gap though. 7 watts per kilogram here coming from Kalen. We see team tactics against their own team here, as we've got Kalen now getting a gap of 7 meters over Williams. Williams now kicking in 8.2 watts per kilogram, closes it down immediately. Looks like they're not going to be holding hands in the line, boys and girls, as they're turning the screws here at the front of the race here. The KRT boys battling it out. Hodges here, just 5.1 watts per kilogram all day long. Kalen comes right on by at 4.2 or so. After that, speed up, goes up into that 7 watts per kilogram as he sees maybe a little bit of pain there from Williams and Hodges. 6.0 now, looking over his shoulder. Is he going to get a gap over his fellow teammates as they make their way over the reverse Watopia? We do see little gaps forming now, and those are all the difference. What's going to happen here with Kalen, Hodges, and Williams? Williams now falling off. 147 beats per minute, now gets right back on terms with this group. Burton still 1 minute back, as we can see. Let's go ahead and see if we can see what the gap is between him and the other riders. 52 seconds, nothing going to happen there. He's going to hold on to this place out on course. The battle for that front in the B, though, will be Barbera here, just trying to hang on with Atwell just a little ways off the back now. Atwell now the one who's going to be suffering. Shuttler, as you said there, Rogers, for the sprint, but it looks like they know it, and they're breaking him off on the climb here, as we have Team Poland here, the robot, with no heart rate monitor, right along with Baker, also no heart rate monitor, so maybe Barbera going to be the official. We'll have to wait and see. We do see Williams now, who was waiting in tow there, goes into 10 watts per kilogram. Kalen responds with his own orange numbers, and Hodges just steady all day long at 5 watts per kilogram. That's not going to hold on to the wheel, as we do see Williams and Kalen getting away now. Up and over the top here, a full 3 seconds. Hodges now says, biting the dust, I am gone, as it's going to be Kalen and Williams over the top for the battle to the line. Williams having to kick it one more time here as they make their way downhill the reverse Watopia. This is for the win between the two KRT boys. And Steven saying, Mr. No Fan surely has somebody, even if it's his mother. Hilarious, Kevin Steven. It doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like he has anybody, including the wheels, right in front of him right now. The cake is a lie, Mr. James Hodges, and it has ruined the fan. And so now here goes Hodges, now 7.1 watts per kilogram real quick. But that's not going to make it happen. 40 miles per hour, 43 here coming from Kalen. Kalen now getting a little bit of a gap over Williams. This matters, actually. 10 meters is huge at this point, coming into the finish line. And now we do have Williams here for 6 watts per kilogram. Gets right back on terms with Kalen. It's going to be a heads-up sprint between the KRT boys for the win in the A category today. Now, Kalen now 6.0, making his way to the front. Williams now 14 watts per kilogram, boys and girls. Here he goes. Not waiting for the flat. He's going way early. This is actually a fairly smart move, as you can see here. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a solid look at what the gap is. There it is. As he comes around the corner, he uses all that speed that he took into the downhill and into the flat and just opens up an immediate 3-second gap. What a well-timed sprint effort there to open up the gap and not have to come to the line, not have to risk anything. That is knowing the dynamics right there in the world of Zwift. Knowing that if you carry speed into the downhill and into the flats, you will be able to grab a solid gap. And Williams, with 7 seconds over Kalen, takes the W here today in the TFC Primal Europe TFC. Kalen now followed by Hodges for third place for the KRT. 1, 2, 3 podium though for KRT. They got the work done. That's for sure in the Primal Europe Friday criterium today. Burton now 58 seconds, it looks like, over the Chase Group for fourth place in the A category. Robo Team PL now, here we go. 2.4, Baker now right in there as well. It's Baker, Team ODZ, Barbera is there as well. We've got a prediction that Barbera is going to be the man to the line. Big C Mac D saying, D. Williams, you a beast. Nice win coming from Ants March. There's a comment over in Zwift Community Live. The monster, D. Williams, says Rogers. Solid effort there from Williams for sure for the win today in the Friday criterium. Now coming to the line, though, this is the battle, though, for these four, as they're about to make their way around the corner here. Just about 700 meters to go or so. At the front now, Team PL now taking the lead. Baker now at the front as well. 4.3, 4.0 watts per kilogram. Now a kick now coming from Magnus there, right along with Team PL now. Let's go ahead and see what's going to happen between the Magnus man and Team PL. Up in those orange numbers. Here comes Team ODZ, 12 watts per kilogram. I think I left this boy out by mistake. Barbera coming on at 11 watts per kilogram, though. Does he have enough landscape left to make this happen? Here comes Barbera. Magnus fades. He's going to drop out. No, right at the line. There was a dropout from Magnus, it looked like. And it was going to be Barbera, followed by Magnus, and then I believe it was Team PL. I'm not absolutely positive there. We'll have to wait for the preliminary results. What an effort there. Atwell now across the line, followed by Shuttler, who has dropped off on the reverse Watopia. Solid efforts all around here, but for the finish now, it is going to be Shuttler, next one across the line for that third place in the B category. Ants March saying he came unclipped. Oh my goodness, he did a Caleb. KRT hype. Maybe he celebrated too early. It might have been what happened. Who knows? But what a rough finish there for Magnus. He had it, it looked like. I'm not sure, though. Barbera was coming on really strong, boys and girls. So we'll have to see what happens here between Ruff and Hasty here now, as well as D. Fuller now trying to battle it out for the next top spots in that B category. In the C category then as well, we have, I believe, the front end of the C's trying to make the chase here, as we do have Winspur about 4:43 or so back from these boys. So about 4 minutes or so before the C category is going to be making their way to the line. Let's go ahead and follow it in as the B's, though, make their way through here. K Ruff with 5.4, 5.6 watts per kilogram at the front here, leading things out. Cadence now is there. D King, Cadence Racing, PHL out of Australia, being followed very closely by Termite. We've got a two Vision riders here trying to work over Hasty Fuller as well as King. We'll see if they can make this happen and get the communication correct for Vision, as there are no other teammates in this group right here, but we do have D King now at the front. 3.4 watts per kilogram or so. Ruff now 180 beats per minute, working really hard. We are seeing Fuller now. Actually, K Ruff. Now, Termont's off the back. That's not something you usually see in these situations. So now it's going to be up to Ruff for Vision now, but Cadence Racing making things happen. Fuller now 183, just pulling things along, as Hasty also 4.7, 174 beats per minute out of the US of A. What's going to happen around the corner here? Who's going to go first? Usually somebody goes right along this section, but it's going to be Hasty Hasty still at the front, 4.0 watts per kilogram now. Looking from the top, we do see Fuller now making his way to the front. Ruff now from Vision Cycling there, making his way there. Now we're seeing a little bit out of saddle here. Goes Ruff now, 8.2 watts per kilogram, but sitting on the wheel will be Hasty. Will he be able to hang on and come around now? They're distancing themselves from the rest of the group. It looks like it may be Ruff. 10 watts per kilogram though from Kins Racing. Too little, too late. And across line will be Fuller, followed by D King, I believe. Ruff. Taking the W though amongst that group, followed by Hasty, and then it was Fuller and Cadence, I believe, just a little bit too late. Termon across the line now. Next one will be followed by Yvonne. Then Bunting is there as well, 3.0 watts per kilogram. Catherine D and Keith D. Solid effort from these guys in the watts per kilogram team. Now getting away from Curie and Waters. KRT hype, what's going on here now? Maybe he celebrated too early. Williams is laughing. Got to drop Barbera on the climbs. Reverse KOM, not steep enough. What kind of idiot would celebrate on lap early? Williams is saying, I would. And well, you were first for one lap. So there you go, Ansmart just saying. And we are seeing Williams saying, I sprinted on wrong lap in real life race a few weeks ago. Was only for fourth, though, so didn't celebrate, luckily. We are seeing Catherine and Keith now making their way to the line. Are they going to battle it, though? Who's going to be the first one between Catherine and Keith out here today? Keith looking not to get chicked, it looks like here. Will it happen? Keith now giving a little bit of sprint. Catherine maybe saying, just go ahead and have it, boy. And we are seeing 6.4 watts per kilogram coming from Keith, saying, come on now, but not going to happen. Waters now TFC and Creary. Is there going to be any love lost between these boys? We do see Waters saying, nope, I'm going to kick into 7 watts per kilogram. I'm going to have to follow my wheel here, Creary. 8 watts per kilogram now before the line, 9.2, and it looks like he's going to have the sprint over the teammate now. Actually, Creary now kicking a little bit, and will he be able to go right on by? Actually, Creary times it just right and grabs it from Waters. What a well-timed sprint there. D-Box now here. Across the line out of the Netherlands, followed by Benjamin. And then we do have Mike Reese here as well, making his way to the line. For the C category, then, let's go ahead and bring in their results. As you can see up above my head, it is going to be, that's not the C category results. That's the A category results. Excuse me. Here we go with the C category results. As we do see here, it is going to be Winsper making his way to the line. These are not finalized yet, but we do see Winsper coming up over the top here. But there is one rider just ahead of him out of Denmark there. Spleed, I'm not sure it's going to happen. 15 seconds. I don't think he's going to catch him. But he does not have a category in his name, so we're unsure if he is a C rider or not. 2.1 watts per kilogram. I have a feeling he's within the C category limits. Off the front here, Winsper racing him, and he's got away. Beverage is here as well. Solo effort now at this point, holding off Rogron. Rogron? About 17 seconds. So a lot of solo efforts now in this C category. There is a battle between Dickinson and it looks like Shields. Tisdale just a little ways back, about 54 seconds or so. 54 seconds up to Dickinson and Shields now. Rogron now is there. Beverage, and it looks like Spleed, though, going to be able to get away from this group in this C category. Kev Stevens saying the wife will win, and Roger saying he will regret that because the wife did not win in that situation today. So we'll see how that works out if we get any comments on that from the Catherine and Keith D household. Tom of Kalen saying, did you see the KRT tactics? Oh, yeah, we definitely did. We had a lot of comments about it as well. Solid ride there from the KRT boys today. Spleed now making his way to the line here. 2.8 watts per kilogram. Winsper now looks like unable to catch him as he will be taking the win, though, in this C category with 2.9 watts per kilogram. Beverage now a solid 2.8 watts per kilogram to the line here soon with Rogron trying to chase him down. It's not over just yet. Everybody's got to put the work in for this top 5 or so in the C category. We'll have a battle maybe with a sprint here with Shields and Dickinson as they are together coming down the other side of the Watopia reverse climb. Split now Looks like that's going to be the W here for the C category, although it's not official above my head here. Maybe it was a B rider. I'll have to wait and see what he registers as. Maybe there's some results that we can bring up in a second here to give us more information. Winsper now crossing line with 7 watts per kilogram, giving us a little show. Thanks a lot, Winsper. So far for the preliminary results, the winner today in the C category. Beverage now second place, it looks like, followed by Rogron. 17 seconds back, going to be taking that third place out there today as Beverage comes to line 153 beats per minute or so. So it looks like about 18 seconds back, Shields now with Dickinson. So these two are going to be crossing the line, Beverage along with Rogue. And those positions without any kind of dropout are definitely already solidified with those second place and third place respectively. Rogue now here coming out of France, just about to cross the line. But this is the battle here between Shields and Dickinson. Who's going to go first? They're just kind of looking at each other. 193 though coming from Shields. That is a really high heart rate, 2.3 watts per kilogram. Not sure he's going to have any kind of sprint left as the TFC rider now sits in and waits for the moment to pounce. It looks like with about 300 meters to go, he makes his way to the front. Not sure he's got a whole lot to work with yet either. Give him a ride on, let him know that they're being watched, because here we go. 3.1 watts per kilogram now coming from Dickinson. 5.9, there he goes. Shields is going to respond. 198 beats per minute. Does he got anything left in the tank? 185. Not sure it's going to happen here, boys and girls. It's going to be Dickinson next one across the line for that fourth and then fifth place, I believe. Tisdale now making his way to the line, 3.2 watts per kilogram. And as he does so, let's go ahead and see the final results for the A's, the B's, and the C results today as Tisdale makes his way to the line for that fifth place. As you can see here for the race today in the A category, Williams gets away from Hodges. Kalen not in there. Interesting. Kalen was there with these boys. Second place, Hodges, Burton, followed by Maitons, Baker, Atwell, King, all in that top 7. Van there as well. Wesenbeek there, 8th place. H. Ty, followed by Parker. Just kind of hanging out on course. Doesn't look like he is any longer racing. Looking through here for the B category results then. It will be our Barbera then for the win, followed by Shuttler, K. Ruff, Hasty, D. Fuller, Termont, Bunting, Keith, and then Catherine, followed by Creary, Waters, D-Box, Mike, Reese, Benjamin, and then it looks like Splid actually was in the B category, so it will be the win in that C category, going to, I believe, Mr. Winsper here as we look through those results now. It will then be Winsper followed by Beveridge, and then Rogron, Dickinson, Shields. Tisdale just crossing the line, and then I believe Sterling now just about to cross the line as well. Millward currently sitting in 8th without any dropouts will be taking that place, followed by Stockvik there, who does have a solid gap about 26 seconds over Warthon right now, most likely going to be taking that top 10 position out on course today. Excuse me, sorry, we brought in the wrong results there. For the women, let's do a quick little check here, see if there were any women out on course racing today that were battling out between each other. D. Baker, solid result for her, 4.3 watts per kilogram, going to be getting an upgrade to the A category. Catherine was out there, of course, also. And then Jack of all trades as well, making her way to the line. Solid result for her. Now coming to the line then, let's go ahead and check out what's happening with the C's here. As Stockvik going to be making his way to the line with Millward. That's that top 10 position that he has been battling for. So 1 minute back will be Stockvik from Millward as he crosses the line, I believe in 9th place, followed by Warthon for that 10th. Actually, no, 8th place there, actually, I believe, for Millward, followed by Stockvik in 9th, and then Warthon for 10th. Kapala here trying to battle it out. 10-9. 3.3 watts per kilogram. What's he got? Is Warthon got anything left in the tank? Does Kapala got 5-6 watts per kilogram to close down 8 seconds over this last little stretch? Warthon now sees him coming. Kicks it into 4.5 watts per kilogram. Not sure it's going to happen for him. Stockvik now just about to cross the line. We'll give him a little bit of a ride on. Maybe he's going to kick and go past the boy in the kicker kit here. Will he do that just for a little bit of show? I think he's had enough show for the day. There's a kick now, and 10 watts per kilogram real quick does give us a little show past the boy from with the kicker jersey on. and kicks right on by. Warthon 4.9 watts per kilogram, followed by B. Kapala, unable to close that down in that last stretch. 3.9 watts per kilogram, 180 beats per minute. 174 there coming from Kapala, and then our Keats here just outside the top 10 for Team TFC. So there we go, boys and girls, for the results today. There were not a lot of D riders, so we're not going to stick around for that. As you can see here, I'll bring their results up, but there was Offered and Fish, it looks like. Huge time gaps, so nothing to follow there for the race today. The 1 meter show, Kevin Stephen is saying. Yep, definitely the 1 meter show today. All right, when it came to the finish there, we do have Keats now crossing the line, 6.0 watts per kilogram. Nice job, just outside the top 10. Again, that will be it then for the race today in the Friday Criterium. We are going to be starting to highlight a lot of great stuff coming down the line from Zwift and their events. We will have our next coverage will most likely be coming up on next Tuesday, but we definitely want to have a little chat with everybody about the upcoming. Tomorrow we do have Zuskana. Zuskana's workout ride will be happening tonight, 10 p.m. CST. If you haven't checked out so far, we'll get some materials out there for you guys for these. But if you haven't checked out so far, there is eFondo coming up next weekend Saturday, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday out on Zwift. The ATOC Tour of California group rides are happening, so make sure to check those out, as there's a lot of teams and group ride individuals and leaders running Amgen Tour of California group rides. There has been announced that it looks like there will be a ride with let me just make sure that this has been announced and I don't mess anything up here. But I believe that we do have an event here coming up with a talk that's going to be pretty cool. Another ride with actually out on Zwift with Dave Towley announcing it. Let me just make sure before I do any kind of stupid announcement that I should not be doing. We do see the eFondo coming up in their upcoming events. Not seeing it on their Facebook. Maybe there was not an announcement about it just yet, and I've got to hold my tongue. And now you guys have all this anticipation. Little surprising that something as big as this wouldn't be announced on the Facebook, but let's just go ahead and double check here and see if maybe it is on their Twitter. And Shane's video, that was cool. We are seeing nothing over here just yet. I swear I saw something on Facebook, and I just want to make sure. Well, we are live all over the place. We're over on Facebook as well. We're on Twitch. I know you guys over at Twitch are like, come on. Just tell me. PBM Timothy is saying that was rough. Don't think I'm going to win races for a while. I want my free watts back I had with the Vortex. Timothy Termont is saying, oh, and shots fired at the Vortex just now. And maybe it's in Zwift Riders. I can't just spill the beans, you guys. It's there's definitely some NDA around it if it hasn't been released yet, because it's a pretty big deal. Maybe I'm looking through Zwift Riders here really quickly, and we are seeing the Pack Sub ride is coming up. It looks like Sub 2 ride Saturday, ATOC Pack Sub 2 ride. Definitely check that out. It looks like on Saturday 1600 UTC +1. I do see myself shared over there over on Zwift Riders. But interesting that I'm not seeing this. I swear I saw this renounced. Tour Amgen California. It looks like the Z Sun guys are running some ATOC stuff as well. Amgen Tour of California. We are seeing event series through the 21st, and now I'm looking through all of the rides for the Amgen Tour of California. They have all been announced. So here we go. If you want to see all of the Amgen Tour of California rides, you can head on over here to this link on Zwift's website. And it is Zwift.com/event/series/2017 with a whole lot of other stuff in there. Amgen Tour of California. I'll also link that over in the Facebook. And you can get involved in the Amgen Tour of California rides. Make sure to go ahead and join a bunch of those. Join those. And it looks like, here it is. It has been announced. This is the featured one. And Phil Liggett and Paul Sherwin will be riding 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time on, it looks like, next Wednesday, May 17th, 9 p.m. CDT. Paul Sherwin, Phil Liggett, right along with announced by Dave Towley. So pretty big deal, actually. Over at Zwift HQ, I believe is where they're going to be at. Here's the link to that ride along. So definitely a cool event that's going to be happening. So definitely check that out. So what else is going on? Obviously, the Aussie E-Crit series is going on. Those are some big events every Tuesday and Thursday morning here for me. Over by you in Australia and New Zealand, it would be the evening for them. Definitely want to get involved in those, and if you race those, you do get the opportunity to get into a live event if you are highly ranked in that series. I believe it's 5 from each series that are going to be going. Then obviously the World Social Rides that are going on the weekend. Take a look at all the events on Zwift.com/events for those. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in. Again, thanks a lot to the Primal Europe for supporting the event. Thanks a lot to TFC for putting on the event. As always, great job to all of the racers. If you got any questions or anything or any comments, make sure to give them to me right now. Otherwise, I will see you guys really soon. I'll give you guys a couple of seconds to make some comments or questions, and then I am going to be out of here for today. Rick Barbarian saying, nice cast once again. No problem, Rick. Good to see you hanging out over at the broadcast on Facebook. If you haven't done so, head on over to the Twitch channel. I know some guys were asking about schedule, having a broadcast schedule and all that stuff. The best way to know when we go live is to download the Twitch app on your phone and follow it and have push notifications on. You can know anytime we go live whatsoever then. Or head on over through your browser to twitch.tv/Zwift Community Live and hit the follow button up there. You get a notification sent directly to your email right when we go live. You can never miss a broadcast then if you follow in those places. Again, if you're following on Facebook, it's a little bit hit and miss because of the algorithms on Facebook. On the Twitch channel, you hit follow over there. You will know whenever we go live with that push to your email or to the app on your phone. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Just making sure I'm not getting any of those comments. Barbera is saying, I was there during race and swapped over after. Yeah, I saw that, Barbera. We covered your efforts in length, Rick. You had a great race out there today, and you had a lot of people cheering for you, actually. We saw you off the back from that front group of KRT boys making that TT effort all the way to the line. Solid effort. Being chased then and trying to hold off in that TT effort. All the rest that were coming at you. So that was a really, really well done race there, Rick Barbera. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we will see you tonight for Zuskana's workout ride. Make sure to tune in for that as well. And as always, everybody, ride on.
On your
the pavement, run that race. Set that goal, give it chase. Don't be afraid and join the ranks of the ones who say, I'll see what I got and get what it takes and see how far I can make it. Even if I shoot for the moon and I don't quite get there, well, at least I know that I can ride my bike with no handlebars. And so can you.